in this bush. And then he's like doing this and he's just waiting here for you and you see him, but you've just done like 5 camps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's done 3. So you're just massively ahead of tempo with him, and you've just covered yourself completely just with these 2 wards. There's absolutely zero counterplay that he can do. So the reason why this is also like a farming path, and it's also just a very creative path, and it's also very good, is because you go 1, you smite this, 2, he's forced out, and then you can just go here 3. And guess what? All the options are yours now. What's up, everyone? If you are someone who takes league improvement seriously, check out my Patreon, where you can get access to over 300 coaching sessions, just like the one in this video, as well as weekly group coaching sessions and much more. There are options for every budget, so take the first step in reaching your goals right now.
Elos, you're going to get people that are doing more and different types of
plays, yeah, for sure. Like, so generally. Yeah, and that's what we have to like embrace. You know, we have to embrace like that happening to us, because essentially, right? Essentially, you playing the game, and this is what we talk about habits a lot. So, like, you know, maybe, I don't know, a bronze or silver player. I'm just going to say, like, some random low elo. They're never going to have to ward this, because this invade in silver and bronze is not going to happen, right? So, warding this, because the enemy can invade you, you could see this kind of as a habit. So, when you get invaded and when you get punished for your bad habit, which is you not warding here is a bad habit to have if you're versing a champion like a Bel'Veth, right? You're being punished for it, which is a good thing, because that's improvement. You now understanding that I can get invaded here, I need to ward here, or you understanding that, okay, I want to start blue and clear to top, but he could also do 1, 2, 3 and invade like this. Okay, now there's 2 places he could invade, right? So I either need to get my team to ward here. Okay, let's just say your team does ward here. Great. Then you can just do your normal clear. You can do this and then skip the red, because you think there's still a chance he can invade me here, right? So you skip the red and then you ward here in this bush. And then he's like doing this and he's just waiting here for you and you see him, but you've just done like 5 camps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's done 3. So you're just massively ahead of tempo with him, and you've just covered yourself completely just with these 2 wards. There's absolutely zero counterplay that he can do.
Right.
I mean, I guess he could do like, if he does like Raptors to your Wolves, this doesn't really work because Wolves is like a much safer camp and you've already done 2. So it kind of just sucks for him to do this and wait here. It's like, that's just like, that would be one of those things that's like, okay, this is so like weird. There's not much, you know, we don't need to worry about it too much. But yeah, it's good. You got to embrace that kind of thing. And definitely when that happens, you know, you got to reflect. Is it one of those random things, or is there some like kind of thought behind what he's doing?
Right. Like when, like, I've never tried doing like a path like that. Like when would you like, it feels like that's kind of not the way the meta is kind of right now, or like, cause we're kind of like farm meta. Like when would you consider doing something like that? Well, like what would you be looking for?
Well, I actually think that, I just think this path is still really good exactly on those types of champions. I still think it's really good. I think the reason why people actually stop doing it, yes, it is farm meta, but this is like a farming path if you think about it. Because like the reason why the Raptor Invader was so good, and I still think is really good, just people have, because what happens is, right, this path becomes very, very popular. So what happens is everyone like starts to adapt and place these wards and counterplay, right? So now everyone stops doing this because everyone knows about it and they do the counterplay. But now what's happened is everyone's forgotten about this path again and have stopped warding here now again. So now this path is actually still really good again, despite it being like whatever, a farming meta. And the reason for that is just because, you know, it's just a fail-safe path, right? You invade here. The only way it's bad is if obviously they're expecting it, and then they'll ward, and then they'll do blue, and then they'll not do the Gromp, and they'll just skip it. And now you've just done 2 camps here. Now you're just like hard stuck level 3. Because you've done 1, 2. Oh, sorry. 1, 2. But these camps are gone. So now where are you going to get level 3? Okay, you have to run back to red now. However, yeah, if they don't ward for it, let's just say you're playing Briar versus whatever. You start the Raptors, you run here, and, you know, you check, okay, blue is gone. Okay, that means he's probably on Gromp. Then you're going to catch him here. You're either going to kill him and force him, like, out of his jungle, and you're going to also have Smite here, and he's most likely going to have Smited blue, right? Everyone smites blue, usually, 80% of the time. So the reason why this is also like a farming path, and it's also just a very creative path, and it's also very good, is because you go 1, you smite this, 2, he's forced out, and then you can just go here 3. And guess what? All the options are yours now. You can either chase him in here if that's a possibility. Because think about it as well. He's only done one camp. He's done one camp here. He bases. When he's basing and doing this, he's already leashed this this Grump for you.
Right.
So it's still a very, very insane path. Then he's pathing out to here, and you have an option. Okay, should I, like, I don't know, maybe bot lane is a very, very volatile matchup this game or something. So you decide to kind of just like stay bot, and now you've just like split the map, and now the enemy bot can't play, and now you're like diving them, or you're like ganking them, or you know after wolves you're like okay, what are my options? Gank bot, okay, gank bot. Chase him into this side because he needs to get 2 camps to get level 3. 2. So he needs to farm this and this to get level 3. So you definitely will make it there by that time. So then you just like mess with him. Maybe because you have pushing mid and pushing top. And this is like the GG. This is like game over for him. Or maybe you can't evade him here. So then you just say, okay, I've just gone up 8 CS total. He's super, super far behind in tempo. I'm just going to go like red. I'm not going to do Krugs because you still have to protect this side, right? So after I do this, I'm going to do wolves, red, my wolves, my top side, and then maybe contest the top scuttle, and I'm going to be level 4, and he's going to be level 3, hard stuck.
Yeah.
And you also have these camp timers as well. So maybe after you do that, you base here, you run straight to these camps again. So yeah, it's just this is where like the creativity and can create like such an impactful like start of the game, rather than
for sure
just sticking to the full clear, full clear, full clear. But yeah, of course, it all just depends on this ward right here. You can see it's counted very easily.
Yeah, I had that like almost a different situation, but like where it didn't go well for them, where like an Amumu came and tried to smite steal my blue from me at like level 1, and they smited a little bit to he tried to steal my
like
I was
1?
on my blue, like level 1. I was on the bot side. No, he just like I think he had vision somehow, and like just like tried to smite it, but it must have been like 3 HP. So then I killed it, and then he was like stuck there as I was level 2.
Yeah, I mean those are also like it's like it's very funny. I watched this guy called Sally. He's like a really, really high elo Chinese super server player, and sometimes what he does is he's like the most creative jungler you'll ever like see. Sometimes what he'll do level 1 is he'll like come in here and he'll check if anyone's guarding here. And he'll path like this. He'll path like hug this wall and he'll go like this. So maybe he doesn't get seen from this or something. And then he'll ward the blue. And then what he'll do is actually just run like this way like this. And just come behind and just smite it.
Yeah, I think that's what they tried to do.
Or he'll just like start all these camps and the enemy jungle and the enemy players have no idea where he is. So then he just gets like 1, 2, 3 quadrants. So yeah, there's a lot of creativity. Obviously the creativity, again, it just comes down to, was I seen? And the reason why you don't see as much creative like stuff in high elo is because of what we just talked about. People have good habits. People like stand here and check. People ward here and make sure that doesn't happen to them.
Or people will like be like 5-pointing and then
people will be 5-pointing and they moo when he gets he'll just get seen then he'll get chunked out and then he's like too late to go to base, so he's just starting the game with like half HP or something.
Yeah.
So
no, that's good to think about.
And obviously some champs do this creative thing better. This is what I always talk about in terms of like champion identity and champion mastery. Like a champion like and I'm gonna actually say something else because that just reminded me. Sally also, that same guy as Rammus, he did this invade. He did when this path was popular, he actually did this invade as Rammus. So you can also use the fact that what we just talked about as well as like the next mind game to this to this chess game of jungle, which is like I'm playing Brand, I'm playing Lilia, I'm playing Zyra. Enemy is never going to expect me to invade. So then I'm actually going to invade, right? A very, very popular pathing for a while as Zyra, when she was super, super OP jungle. I don't know if you remember that. I mean, before the nerf,
I
nerf
remember.
was like people were actually doing blue and having like all so she would one-shot the blue completely. And then she would path to enemy raptors, and either enemy jungle will start red and go 1, 2, 3, and so she'll just like take the raptors and then like have that little bit of farm lead just because she can farm so quickly. So doing this is actually not that inefficient for her, just because at the end of the day, think about it, you're using that, like you're gonna have spare time here anyway. You may as well use it here. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
So like what people were doing was like 1, 2, and then if the enemy jungle started top, it was just like GG. You would just go 3, 4. You would actually do this camp over this wall here.
Oh my god! And then you would just like do your
And then
whole
you would just, and
from
then yeah,
bot
and
to
then you
yeah.
would just go like this.
Oh my god!
And like, this is the other thing as well. This is the thing about League. It's just not like a, um, it's not a game where there's a formula. You
Yeah,
can win in many different ways. You can win by just going pard the bot, pard the bot, pard the
yeah,
bot. Yes, this is very, very consistent. It's extremely consistent to win.
right. I
But
mean, that's like Perry's whole
exactly,
like
yeah,
I've
yeah,
watched
yeah.
a lot
I
of
was
his
about to say,
videos.
yeah.
Like his whole deal is like I always go top to bottom, like every single game, and like I don't stop for anything.
Yeah,
Like
which is
95% of the time.
legitimate. Like I legitimately think that obviously if you want to just switch your brain off pretty much, I understand that I could be like thinking about more. But the thing is, doing this doesn't really teach you what we've just talked about.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like the whole point of that. I like, and like most of the stuff he does is like focusing on all the other like good fundamentals
Yeah.
because
And
you're not like
taking that
you
equation out.
don't have
Yeah.
that on your mental stack.
Yes, yes, which is good. Which is what I also like. I also say the same thing. This is why I also say like, you shouldn't play champions like Kindred. You shouldn't play champions like Nidalee,
Right.
because that
Right.
mental stack, what we just talked about, all this creativity, with those champions, it's very important to do that. Not
Yeah.
saying
I
you
don't remember
can't
all the
just full,
details.
not saying you can't just full clear the bot as Lee Sin. You definitely can as well. It's just you may as well play like Udyr, Lilia, Shyvana
Right.
if
Right.
you're going to do that, because they're much more like formula champions. They clear faster. They don't have as good like skirmish. They don't have as good like gank. They don't have as good damage.